Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, welcome back here on the Nightcap. And joining me all the way from a secret location in the US, you may know her as the very sexy lady that chases ghosts. It's, of course, Kris Williams. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. It's Valentine's Day over there, yes?
It is Valentine's Day today. Yeah, it's kind of strange. You guys are a day ahead, so...
I will send over the winning lottery numbers.
Yeah. Ooh, yes. Do you have any for me?
I will. I'll get them to you. I'll email them through to you.
Okay.
Well, first off, thank you so much for being on the program. A lot of our fans and so forth around the world have asked for me to try and get in contact with you, and we're glad to have you on board.
Well, thank you for having me. That's pretty cool.
No, it's absolutely our pleasure. So, for all those that are new, I suppose, to ghost hunters and taps and so forth, primarily, what's your function as an investigator? A question you probably get asked 1,000 times.
Well, when I was with TAPS, I was a historic researcher. I was always a big history and genealogy person, so it was just kind of an easy fit for me. You know, and they always liked the fact that I was a huge skeptic, and I'm still a big skeptic. And I was there for like 3.5 years before being asked by Sci-Fi and Pilgrim if I wanted to move over to GHI and help lead the team. So it's been kind of it's been a bit of a change. It's been something I'm still trying to get used to. Barry and I are still trying to figure out our balance, but I've always been kind of like the no-nonsense skeptic who's big on facts and history. Yeah. So that's pretty much me, really. Well,
that's really good how you come across with the skeptic approach, because a lot of people may not know that your main function is to debunk, and if you can't find something that can be easily explained, then the word paranormal can get mixed up from country to country, I suppose. So paranormal for us is nothing but spiritual sort of things, but paranormal for you is just something that's not normal. So
yeah, not normal, and it is. You know, that's probably been the most interesting part of my job now on an international team, is that every country is different, and they all have their different belief systems, and they all have their different stories, whether it's these monsters or legends or whatever it might be. And everybody's got their own approach towards the paranormal. I know that working with Barry is different because...
I love him, by the way. I got a massive man crush on him.
I'm telling. I'll call him right after this.
Yeah, let him know. You got to talk to this guy. He's got a man crush on you.
Because he's from Ireland and he's like trying to get me to believe that fairies are real, and I'm just like, dude, seriously? I mean, come on, you're a grown man. Like, Tinkerbell is not real. It's a cartoon. So we kind of battle back and forth, because in the US everything's made to be, you know, we want proof. We want to see it. We use our equipment. We have our gadgets, and we rely heavily on that, where I think in other places they're more open to just believing. They don't necessarily need to have the proof, which drives me insane. And I know I drive very insane, because I won't just take it for face value. I have to. I don't know. I just have to have something come up and just hit me, I guess.
You need concrete evidence.
Yeah, I need concrete evidence.
See, I'm the same. I don't believe that speed limits are real. So
yeah.
Until told otherwise.
To follow them. I figure you just have to go up. You have to be at least above that number. I think that's.
That was always my thought. It really was. I thought it was more of a guide.
Yeah, yes. They
like
just want you going slower than that number.
Yeah, if you go slower than that number, people are going to toot at you. So I just like to be out of that way. I do get a lot of fans. A lot of people with big blue and red lights follow me wherever I go down those roads.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty famous, actually.
Oh, wow.
I told you we're different. Now, you have investigated something that's very personal to me. You went and looked at the Monte Cristo in Junee in Australia, which is a remote country town, middle of nowhere.
I never investigated it.
Wasn't it you? I'm sure it was you.
No, it was before me. They went to Australia.
Maybe I see Barry and then I get...
Oh, so I'm just one of the girls. That's
sorry.
No offense taken.
Well, in that case then, can you come over to Germany and have a look at that place?
Let's pretend I was there. Yeah, I remember that.
It was a great episode. Now, how long do your investigations go for? Because we only, of course, see the edited versions. And they get put up the time and so forth, but obviously you arrive at your destination and you get told the hot spots and so forth, and then you got to set up all that equipment, and that's got to take time.
Yeah, it does. It does. It really all depends on the size of the location. If it's pretty small and you can only have one group in there at a time, we tend to do one night.
Yep.
Just because you're able to cover the place pretty well. Bigger locations, we could be there anywhere from 3 to 4 to 5 days.
Wow.
It just really depends. And it's funny because with those episodes, a lot of people are like, well, why doesn't it say day 2 or night 2 or whatever? The problem is with that is once you start saying days or explaining that we're coming back and we're leaving, it's taking out of the investigation time that we're able to show, people at home. So they tend to kind of just skip over that. And the thing that sucks for us is we're stuck wearing the same clothes for like 5 days in a row with no wash, which is, we all smell fantastic at the end of the week.
Okay, I'm not going on an investigation.
You don't want us to take clothes because if you're changing in and out of different clothes, then you pretty much have to explain the fact that it's in a different night. So it's magic of TV.
We've recently made that jump from radio to TV, which it's quite a big jump. Sorry, you can hear me. They're my guard dogs. Don't worry about them. Just outrageous fans trying to get into the studio. So, but we've recently made that jump, and again, it's one of those things where you could do a shoot for a scene that could take a day or maybe 2, and again, it's the same thing. You're running through the same lines, you're wearing the same clothes, you're trying to make it look like it was done in 10 minutes. But, yes, I can kind of understand there. But fresh undies, please. Tell me you're changing your undies.
What?
You tell me you're wearing fresh underpants when you're doing the scenes.
Yeah, luckily we're allowed to change those. Anything that you can't see on camera, we can change.
Phew, because I'm going to say you would have spoiled a lot of people just then.
Oh my God.
Do you own an iPhone?
I do. I just got one.
Have you seen the ghost applications on the iPhones?
No, people have showed them to me, but I really don't take them too seriously. I mean, I personally wouldn't use them on a case. We've done events where people can come and investigate with us, and a lot of times people are like, hey, check out the gadget I'm using on my iPhone. I'm like, that's good for you. And I just kind of give them a pat on the back and go the other day.
Your 99 cent application's a lot better than my $2,000 infrared camera.
Well, not only that, it's like none of the equipment we had is made to detect ghosts. They're not ghost finders. They're used for other things. Like the EMF detector is used to find EMF. The recorders were used to actually record sound. It wasn't like these gadgets were put out with the intention of looking for ghosts. We tend to have weird things happen on them and strange things show up on them. And that's part of the curiosity for us is we know how these things are supposed to work and why are they acting out of the ordinary in certain situations. Yeah. But when you have an app on a phone and it says that it's a ghost finder, I'm just kind of like, really? Because we're still trying to figure out what the hell they are. So how can you say that it's definitely made to find them?
Well, a lot of people are making a lot of money. They sell these apps to people that just want to believe.
Want to have fun with them, that's fine, but I wouldn't use them on an investigation.
Okay. That means I have to delete mine now. You know that, right?
Well, you should have known better if you call yourself a skeptic, mister.
See, I'm very much like you when it comes to debunking and so forth, and I'm an armchair investigator where I watch your show and go, oh yeah, I think that could be this. Jot it down on my notepad.
Yeah, I mean, I still question everything I've had happen to me, and I still, to this day, don't know if I believe in it or not. It's not every day that you have a huge experience, and there's enough time in between each experience to question the last one that you had. So it's difficult. I keep doing it because I've had big enough experiences that I still cannot explain, but I'm constantly doubting them. So I'm still waiting for that one big in-your-face, no doubting, no questioning experience, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating.
What would be the biggest one, I suppose, that you've got in your mind that you go, look, I can't really explain this, but it sort of leads this way?
The shadow people have been the strangest. I've seen the shadow figures a couple times, and I feel crazy even admitting to I've seen these things.
I'm going to put your mind at rest and say that it's actually me. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right. Feels so much better.
Just
well,
watching
actually,
for Barry.
Means I have a stalker. That's not cool.
No, it's for Barry.
Oh, even better.
You just happen to be in the way.
I'll let him know. God, no, I mean, I've had things happen a few times that were strange. The shadow figures are definitely the strangest thing I've seen. I have not seen a full body apparition. I can't even honestly imagine how that would work.
Yeah.
And I just can't even... I just don't even think they're real at this point because I've never had it happen to me.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going on almost 5 years of investigating, but the shadow figures I have seen. And I remember when I first started, Steve was saying, oh, you know, there's shadows in the dark. I'm like, yeah, that makes a whole hell of a lot of sense.
Well,
Shadows in the dark. I'm like, how the hell do you see them? And he's like, well, they are darker than the dark. You can see where they start. You can see where they end. You can see them actually move. You can tell, like, you can just, it's like an actual person standing there.
Yep.
I was like, all right, whatever. And then I finally saw one. The first one I saw really didn't have a lot of shape to it. It was kind of this blob coming down the staircase at the St. Augustine Lighthouse in Florida.
Yep.
The second one I had seen was in St. Augustine as well. After seeing that, my last night in the hotel that we're in, I was sitting in my room on my bed. I had the lights out except for the TV and my computer.
Mm-hmm. Liking where this story's going.
I just turned my TV off. Ass. I turned the TV off, and I'm just sitting there, and I see somebody walk in front of my computer screen, like somebody walk right past it. And I'm sitting there, and it's like, I am the only person in this room, and I know that. And I 100% know that I'm the only one in here. I'm going to ignore that. So I lay down, and I heard this high-pitched hum coming out of my alarm clock. It's one of those deals where if it's on, but the volume's turned all the way down.
Yep.
Well, I don't use the alarm clocks in my rooms ever.
No.
I always use the alarm on my phone. So I was like, okay, I didn't notice that all week, turned it off. And as soon as my head hit the pillow, my lamp turned on. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, oh,
You can swear if you want, it's fine.
Yeah, so I was kind of freaked out by that. And I just decided I would turn the light off, roll over, and just kind of forget about it, or else I would have been up all night. But, I mean, I've had a few occasions where I've seen these shadow things, and I have no idea what they are, or how they work, or if they're paranormal. I don't know. I mean, they're definitely not normal, that's for sure.
Well, to me, and I haven't been doing it as long as you, but that kind of rings some bells for me. That's when I change rooms.
Well, I'll send one over your way then.
Now, do you think that you'll make another journey back down under?
I hope to, yeah. I was out there in December, and it was great. I flew into Adelaide to meet my guy.
Ooh.
We drove from Adelaide all the way up to Caloundra.
Yep.
And, yeah, it was just fun. We hit all the touristy places along the way, and we stayed in Rogue for like 2 nights, in Melbourne for 2 nights, in Caloundra for 2 nights, and then stopped at little places in between. And really, really pretty. Really pretty. I liked it a lot.
Well, we'd like to have you come back, even as the GH team. That would be interesting, because there's a lot more haunted locations than the touristy ones that you hear about.
Well, now I have another reason I want to go back, so...
Well, yeah, now there's an invested interest here.
Yeah, I'll be sending LA a bunch of cases. So actually, if you get some, send them my way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's Old Melbourne Jail.
Okay.
That's a very well-known haunt. That's where our last bushranger was hung. And his body was actually found on site earlier this year, and it's been nearly 100 years since he died. So, but yeah, strange cases of doors shutting and cell doors opening and closing and apparitions, etc.
I'll take a trip.
I think you should. And when you come over, of course, we'd like to see you in person.
That would be fun. I'm game.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Hey?
Where are you?
Oh, I'm in a secret bunker.
You what?
I'm in a secret bunker.
Oh, bullshit. Where are you?
No, I'm actually in Melbourne, strangely enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I loved it there.
It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
It was very artsy and clean and just pretty. Like, it reminded me a lot of Boston, honestly. Just the hometown kind of small city feel. Nothing crazy like New York or... Some cities are just too big for me, and I felt comfortable there, so...
Melbourne's just at that right speed where everything just flows nicely. Like, we haven't got too many people that try and pull you up on the street. We haven't got too much... Well, we've got crime, but I wouldn't say it's... Like, we haven't got the homicide squad going every 10 minutes type thing, so...
Yeah, no, I liked it a lot, so...
Did you learn to play the didgeridoo while you were here?
The what?
The didgeridoo.
What the hell is a didgeridoo?
Oh, good Lord. If you want to be Australian, you're going to need to know these things.
Right.
Right? The didgeridoo is...
I have to say it's like a shoom.
No, not a shoe. The didgeridoo is an old Aboriginal musical instrument.
Okay.
And it was a way for them to keep themselves entertained, I guess.
Didgeridoo.
Yeah. I've got a fake one. This is a fake one. But you might have known the sound. Know the sound?
Yes, I know the sound.
That's a didgeridoo.
Okay. Alright.
So you need to learn these things.
Alright, what else do I need to learn?
Slang language.
Oh, well, I've already had a few slightly embarrassing issues with slang language.
Alright, do tell.
Okay. I'm allowed to swear and stuff like that?
Absolutely,
how
go
bad
for it.
can it be, really, on this?
Sorry?
What can I get away with, exactly?
Everything. You can say fucking hell all you want.
Alright. Okay. Yeah. I'm just trying to think if I can get away with this word.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so... Well, my guy and I were talking on the phone one day, and I really don't know if I can say this.
Yeah, you can. Don't worry about it. Go for it.
Alright. Well, the word fanny is something very
Yeah, I knew you were heading down this line.
What?
I knew you were going to say this one. Go for it, yep.
Yeah. So that word came out of me, and I was like, kiss my, which in the States is like kiss my ass, but it's actually a polite and old saying.
Yeah, and when you told him to do
that.
that.
My grandmother says, for Christ's sake. So it just slipped out of me, and he started laughing. I'm like, what is so funny?
Do we have time to pull over?
There's that one. Now, the other one, we were walking around in Melbourne, and he's chatting away, and I'm listening, but I'm kind of like I don't know what I was doing. And he says wheelie bin, right?
Yep.
Now, we don't call trash barrels wheelie bins in the U.S., and when he said it, it sounded like, blah, 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 where's your willy bin? And I'm like, Willy? I don't have a willy. Like, where the hell is that? So, and I'm like, why are you asking me where has it been? I'm like, so I looked at him, I'm like, what did you just say? And he said it again. I'm like, do you know what a willy is in the U.S.? And he's like, no. So I had to explain it to him. And
because the correct pronunciation is wheelie, like as in wheels on a car.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he said it kind of fast.
Yeah, it's the accent.
That's not what I picked up.
Where's your wheelie bin?
I was like, are you calling me a dude? I was so confused. But no, there's been a few words where the two of us have just ended up laughing like crazy because we just don't understand each other half the time.
So what about a word like fair income?
Like what?
Fair income.
Say that
Yeah,
again.
this one's blown you. Fed income.
Fed income?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, it's like you're about to say something that's true. So you go, fair income, mate, and then you'll say what you want to say. In other words, you're letting them know beforehand that this is a true story.
So you guys lie a lot is what you're saying. So you have to let everybody know when you're
exactly.
not.
We're a group of convicts. I mean, read our history. You're a historian.
What?
I said, you're a historian. You should know we're a group of convicts.
yeah, we're two countries that were basically made up of people that were kicked out of their previous ones.
Exactly. Except for you were just tougher to get the English out.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're some pretty tough farmers.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Got it going on.
No, it is the language barrier. It can be kind of funny. It was funny too because when we first started talking, every 5 seconds I'm like, what? Huh? Huh? And then what I had done is I went online and I looked up like Australian slang, and I got this website that had a whole list of it, and I wrote him an entire email in it. And he ended up calling me back, laughing his ass off, and he's like, "You're gonna have to actually explain some of this to me because some of this I've never heard before." But it was fun.
I really enjoy, because I'm actually from a tiny little country town here in Australia called The Rock, and over the last couple of years I've learned to slow my speech down because country accents are a lot harder to understand than city accents. And it wasn't until I actually went to Kalamazoo up in Michigan, and no one could understand what I was on about. Like, I really had to slow things down. Even getting a bottle of water was difficult. Because I'm like, I'll have some water. Some what? Water.
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's funny. I got a laugh out of the fact that when I was out there, we're sitting at a little restaurant in Caloundra, and there was this thing on the table that had an ad for the food from one of the restaurants, and it says "Taste of the States" in like a Las Vegas sign, and it was like cheeseburgers and fries and like steak. It's like cow fried stuff. I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's what Americans are. Just fried junk.
Fried
And
junk
I
and
was
cheese.
with the TV too, because it was all like Dukes of Hazzards and Quantum Leap, and hasn't been on the TV here in like 20 years.
I don't know where you were, but I'm not going there.
I was in Melbourne.
Oh, you went to Captain America. That's where you went. I know exactly what you're talking about now, and I should make some money. I just mentioned their name. But I was the same. I went to Outbacks.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We don't have knives that big here in
No?
Australia for cutting steak.
You just use your hands?
Yeah, well, we got knives, you bitch.
The hell with these knives.
I don't know what this is. But when they brought out my steak, I actually thought that the chef had left his butcher knife on my plate. I'm like, this is massive. Like, do you want me to do a Crocodile Dundee impersonation, or is he taking the piss out of me? What?
Well, we were laughing about that too, because I was like, when I was out there watching the TV, I was like, Jesus, what the hell do people think about the U.S.? Like, they probably think we're all a bunch of Snookies and Kardashians and like these crazy
And ghost
partying
hunters,
nut jobs. I go, and when we think of Australia, we think of like Steve Irwin and Crocodile Dundee. I'd rather Dundee and Irwin over than everybody else.
I must admit, I spent a lot of time at West Michigan University's lacrosse team frat house. And because I was an Australian, I turned on the Steve Irwin and channeled Crocodile Dundee, and I just became my own little famous man. So that's what you want to see.
See, my guy said he was going to pull out one of my parents, the Steve Irwin. I'm like, you do that, and I'll show up, and I'll talk to your parents like a total airhead bimbo.
Telling their hair like, you know, whatever.
Like, oh my god.
Like, oh my god.
He'll go over to the wash.
So he plays planes, huh? That's hot. We should probably get back on track, shouldn't we? This interview's just gone off.
Girl chases ghosts. I'm going to be on there.
Say again?
Strange, I'm sure.
So I missed all that.
I said I'm like the strange American girl that chases ghosts. I'm sure I'm going to be on a strange list right off the bat.
Actually, I did receive a text message, and he's going to kill me for saying it, because he hasn't got the Sci-Fi Channel. So he's like, who are you interviewing? And I told him the name, and he looked at me and goes, oh yeah, she's hot, but she's a bit loopy with the whole ghost chasing thing, but she can stay at my place, I suppose.
Yeah, we're not that crazy. common sense and
Yeah.
try to figure out what's really happening. So it's not like we're all ghosts are 100% real and every location you go into is haunted. That's not the point.
Running around with proton packs on you.
It's our job to try to figure out what really is going on. So, I mean, every now and then you do get a place that is definitely strange enough that I will occasionally admit that something's not right or something's up. But
well, that hotel room that you were telling me about just seems beyond stupid. You either had someone in the room with you.
beyond what?
The one that you were telling me about earlier, where you walk past, you could...
Beyond what?
It's
What was the word you used?
I don't know
Beyond...
now.
It sounded like it said beyond stupid. I was
Yeah,
like,
beyond stupid, yeah.
Oh, stupid. Stupid.
Stupid.
Okay.
Like, whatever. Stupid. Yeah, sorry, again, my accent. Because you had a guy walk past your computer, he turned on your lamp. I mean, if that's not evidence enough to go, maybe I should say somewhere else. The car looks good.
I don't scare easy. I just, like, I don't know. When it happened, it was just like one of those, alright, I have to be imagining things. That did not just happen. Then to have the lamp turn on too, I was just like, I'm just gonna ignore this. I'm not dealing with it right now. Because it's, it's one of those deals where you go to a location and you're not, one of the reasons why I don't scare easy is, for one, I don't believe that every location we go to has something.
Yeah.
I don't. And then when you go into it with the thought process of there's nothing there until it gives you a reason to think that there might be, what is there to be afraid of?
Makes sense,
So
yeah.
it's just, there's that, and then it's one of those deals too where going to a location to look for something and possibly have something happen that can be creepy, but you're going there with the intention of looking.
Mm.
So if something does happen, you're kind of ready for it.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but if you're in your hotel room and you're ready to go to bed, turning off the TV, and someone walks through your room, I was about ready to shit myself, but I chose to ignore it. I was just like, that happened, I'm ignoring it. I'm just not going to think about it, because I knew if I thought about it, then I'd be up all night, because it's very different when it's in your space. If it's in your space, and you can't ignore it, and you can't get away from it, then it's not as funny.
Well, a lot of people, and this is on a serious note, a lot of people that have... I've got a bit of a party house. My wife and I just enjoy having company and relaxing with friends and so forth. And downstairs, which is where I'm currently am, because this is part of the set, people think it's haunted. We had multiple people stay here, and one guy said that his wallet went through during the night, or a glass or something would move from where he'd left it. And there's no explanation there, like none of us came down. Sorry?
You did say it was a party house.
It is a party house, so there's a good chance that one of us actually came down.
After one too many beers if glasses are moving, or...
We don't drink that much here. Like, it's just...
No, not...
Just, your standard house. It's...
I'm not...
Hey?
Hey, come on.
Oh, sorry, did you want some?
You go and do something like that and not share. That's just wrong.
Well, when you're in Melbourne, you and your man, come over, party house.
Right. Party house.
I'm
sure there's only one of them.
Oh, there's only one in Melbourne, yeah. We're only allowed one per state. And that it just happens to be mine. So.
Alright.
Yeah. I shouldn't hold you up for too much longer because your manager only gave me a certain amount of time, so...
I'm okay. I'm actually, right now, we're not doing anything, so it's kind of weird. This is the longest I've gone not working.
Yeah.
Ever.
Ever?
Even before Hunters.
Have you been sacked and not told?
No, it's just they're waiting for the
More guests.
They'll order so many episodes, you go and you make those episodes, and then you wait for them to order more of them. So we're just kind of waiting.
Do you hate the analyst side of things, where... Because you don't tend to do it as much, but we have to sit there with the headphones, go through the... Is there a team of people, or is it just literally Barry and someone else?
It's just our team, and a lot of times, you know, Barry and I will help out, but it's not always shown. There are times when I was on GH, Jay and Grant would help, which wasn't always shown, and Amy and I would always help, but they never showed it. And part of the reason is they tried to, if they showed everything, the show would be a lot longer than an hour.
Yeah.
They have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of video to go through, and they kind of cut it down in that, you know, you know, 4 or 6 of us would review, and our stuff when I was on GH would go to Steve and Tango. Amy and I's stuff would go to Steve and Tango, and then they would pick through our things to try to figure out what they thought was worth bringing to Jay and Grant.
Yeah.
And it was a good way to kind of filter things down to make sure that junk wasn't getting through.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The same kind of goes for our team. You know, all 4 of them review. Barry and I do help. A lot of times we'll do research, though, if there's research needed.
Yep.
And then whatever they come out with is what him and I get to, you know, go through and either dump or push through. So, that's the hardest part of the job, to be honest. Investigating's, for the most part, pretty fun. That's not really the work part of the job. You have to be on your toes. You have to be very aware of what's going on around you. Make sure all your equipment's up and running, and obviously knowing how to use it and how everything works. But the real work comes in when it comes down to reviewing, because it's just, you're sitting there watching second by second. There's no fast forwarding. There's none of that. And I remember when I was on GH, at one point, Steve, Tango, Amy, and myself, we each had 20 hours worth of video and audio to go through each.
All right.
So it gives you an idea of just how much evidence or stuff to review comes out of each case. But that's definitely the hardest part of the entire job.
Jeez. Have you ever found a piece of evidence that you just couldn't explain as well? Like, obviously you go through all your debunking and you're going in there as a skeptic, but if you just, like some of your full spectrum photos or something on the hot meter and just go, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Or do you just draw something in with texture and show the client?
It depends on a piece of equipment for me. Digital cameras, I don't like investigating with them. Every investigator has their own tools that they like working with and they feel comfortable with and they trust for whatever reason.
Yep.
Digital cameras are not my favorite. Grant explained it great in that it's like when you take a picture, it's like taking one page out of an entire novel.
Yeah. And
trying to explain that one page without having like the before and after. With one photo, it's just like people are like, oh, there's orbs and there's this and there's that. It's like, it's most likely dust in the air, it's most likely water moisture, it's most likely the flash or something reflecting or whatever. And because you don't have pictures on either end or like video, at least video, you'd see the movement of whatever this is and you'd be able to kind of kill it faster.
Yep.
Where a picture is a lot harder to do, and there's so many things that can go wrong in front of a flash that I just don't trust it.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Video is a little harder to debunk. And I think one of the best pieces I saw was it was a courthouse in New Jersey, and it was funny because I was actually one that found the piece, and I brought it to Steve, and Steve is so hard on things, and I was like, God, I hope he doesn't shoot this down because this looks crazy, and I had to come up with a list of reasons why I thought it was cool, because I really didn't want him to kill it. And I was like, okay, so this figure, it looks like a woman walks out of a bookcase, and she stops and she looks at the camera, and I'm like, her eyes don't react to the IR. So right away, if it was a real person, you'd see the eyes kind of glowing, and it doesn't do that. And I'm like, her head is dark in comparison to the rest of her body, and then she walks off into another bookshelf. Like, how does that even happen? I'm like, and not only is the camera facing that direction, but Jay and Grant are both facing that direction, and they didn't see it. And I had a few other reasons why it was strange, but I can't remember off the top of my head because it was forever ago.
Because it's freaky?
It was a really weird piece of evidence, and it was just, we had another camera set up in that direction too that didn't catch it, and it was just that one camera that caught it. So yeah, every now and then you'll catch things on the equipment that just doesn't make sense. I know that when we were in Denmark, we're at an old castle, and we had several cameras set up in the dungeon, and it was funny because this is where having several pairs of eyes on things is really important, because the guys had looked at this one piece where the EMF reacted, and the temperature dropped, and the camera picked up movement, but then I noticed that the flashlight moved, and they just kind of wrote that off, and I'm like, why are you writing that off? They're like, oh, it could be a bug, it could be this, it could be that. I'm like, well, the camera picks up movement, it didn't pick up anything crawling to it or away from it, or around it, and around that same time you have an EMF fluctuation and a temperature fluctuation, and you have movement being picked up on the camera. I was just like, that you can't just write that off. It doesn't make any sense. That you have a whole series of things happening, which when you have a bunch of things happening at the same time, and you have a bunch of pieces of equipment reacting to it, I tend to like things like that a lot better than just one piece that could be going haywire for whatever reason.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. Like, I would have picked up on that.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. I'll start my own show here in Australia, and you can come over. And I won't shoot down any of your ideas.
And then you can call and give me advice, or I'll call you and you can give me advice.
Sounds fine to me. I'm happy with that. That's a winner.
Sounds good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is, of course, beautiful Kris Williams. Thank you so much for being here on the Nightcap.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So what I'll do is, well, boys and girls, of course, if you want to see any of Kris's work, jump on the Sci-Fi channel at Wednesdays at 9 PM and see her in action. How's that for a plug?
Next week.
It is.
Uh-huh.
New episodes
Our
coming
new
too.
episodes are back this week, but I don't know when you guys get the new ones. What is that? Like, I don't... Do you guys still have the ones with Rob and Dustin?
Yes. No. We got Dustin. No, we're on to the new ones then. Dustin's not in there. Hey?
The ones with me on GHI?
Yeah, GHI. There's no Dustin. Is there Dustin? Can't remember. I'm just looking at my wife. What I'll do is I'll watch it tonight because it's Wednesday here. What was that one?
I said, hi, wife.
I'll bring her in. What I'll do is I'll finish up and then I'll stop recording. We can have our own convo. So take that, nation. Kris Williams, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute wonder. And as I said, I'll just press stop and we'll continue on.
Okay, sounds good.
Do you want to say thank you to the Nightcap?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys for having me on here. It's fun being able to do something in Australia just because I've been out there now, and I think I might make a habit of going out there.
Woo!
So, yeah. Can't wait for the next trip. It really, really, really was beautiful. I absolutely loved the country, the parts that I saw, so looking forward to getting out there again.
Yay! Could we grab a soundbite off you as well? Is that alright?